my phone. Or it keeps going off. Let me mute my stream because I've apparently got it turned on. So today's the finals of the beginners tournament because of how long it lasted yesterday. And split into 2 days. I'm just waiting for an invite from them. Like typing. Right. Nearly ready. There's the game up now. Let's move into the observer slot. I think it's the best of 3 me ask the players here. And also at the same time, let me go get the Steam announcement ready as well. Schedule event, one name, to tournament finals. Link to the stream. I don't really have the link to the brackets, although actually I can just write down the players' names. It's only a finals anyway, so it's just a best of 3, so I can just write that down. Okay, that's all sorted out. It's best of 3 series. Just waiting for the people to now select their champions and then we can get back into the game. And also for people wondering, I'm going to be uploading the videos onto YouTube soon. I just need to like break down the videos into like the individual series that I casted because 7.5 hours is kind of a massive video to just upload to YouTube, and I'm going to try and break it down this time, maybe make it in a nicer format for people to actually want to watch the series. So I think they're partially sourcing out on TeamSpeak. They're gonna actually say it in the chat here. So I've got the Farseer and the Force Commander here for Aetherion and for Cornerflocks. And now up to Jambi and Ahruiz to pick their commander choices. Jambi going to go with that Sorcerer. And people not wanting them to, or Aetherion not wanting Ahruiz to have the same skin. Kind of annoying when you're playing against the same, what's it called, commander, and you also got the same skin. Just makes it even more annoying. So they're going to coordinate that. So it looks like the map is Median Cliff Mines. The map is like for the first game anyway, has already been decided. I haven't actually got the brackets open with me right now, but the players know what they're doing, know how to organise better than I can. So just waiting for Ahruiz to ready up, and then we'll be able to step into the finals. It does look like Ahruiz is going to be sticking with Farseer, although he hasn't said it in chat. Actually, he did say it in chat, I just missed it. So Farseer's all around. Force Commander and the Sorcerer. The map is going to be median cliff mines, quite a small 2v2 map with a heavy focus on the centre of the map, and then you've obviously got the VPs on the outskirts of the map, and then some power. Well, two of the power nodes are closer-ish to the centre, but two of them are a bit more towards the side, I guess. So maybe I should have actually put in Nightbot into the channel and we can actually have a vote and see who's going to take the series, or have people vote on who they think will take the series. I'll get that to join while we're in the loading screen anyway. It gives me a couple of minutes to quickly sort this out. Hopes if I actually spelled players' names correctly.
You are well suited now for victory.
Okay, that should be done correctly. Thank you for the follow as well. And we're getting back into the game. Starting off, we have Aetherion in the right hand side of the map playing as the Farseer, and the top side of the blue side of the map we have the Corner Flux playing as that Force Commander. For red team, who we actually have going mid right now, we have Ahruiz playing as the Farseer, and we have Jambi as well making his way to mid, playing as the Chaos Sorcerer. So starting off, we do have Aetherion actually going for double Dire Avengers, whereas Ahruiz has decided to go for a Banshee squad first and then follow it up with a Dire Avenger squad. We will probably see Aetherion get his own Banshee squad soon as well, and we do see him building the Banshees now. Both players going for the same kind of composition, just deciding to build it in a different order than each other, and we see Corner Flux going for Tactical Marines and Jambi going for Chaos CSM, except for neither players opted for a second Heretic or Scout squad. We have the Sorcerer here doing some Doombolts and some Tactical Marines. They are behind a little bit of yellow cover there, so the Doombolts do less damage to units behind cover. It's a bit of a weird system in my opinion, that Doombolts do less damage to units in cover, but that's how the game works. And Sorcerer is just going to go tie up these attacks in melee. His damage isn't the highest in the early game. His Doombolts have done quite a bit of damage already, and we do see the Doombolts landing there a bit more on that lead model, running away, over the Sorcerer himself is quite low now and will need to leave the area. We do see that Aetherion kind of got all his forces mid with the exception of his Farseer, so these Dire Avengers here for Ahruiz will need to be careful. And do see a retreat straight away. We do have the Farseer here though for Aetherion, off to the side, off to go and get that VP. Got some Banshee versus Banshee action, Dire Avenger versus Dire Avenger action. We got the Farseer here where she's not actually jumping into combat herself. Probably just there to use the guide onto the Banshees, or onto the Dire Avengers actually, because they're the ones with the glowing yellow circle there. Farseer going to go and tie up some Dire Avengers. Dire Avengers melee damage is so low that even the Farseer on less than 100 HP is able to tie them up very effectively. Do have some scouts retreating away, some CSM here on the outskirts of the map. There is also a building here which can be used, although you don't really get much coverage from it though. So we do have the Farseer running here from Aetherion. Will get caught out by two Dire Avengers here, but she is using her fleet of foot, so she does take reduced range damage and gets her some extra speed as well to get out of the fight a bit quicker. Double Dire Avengers are going to push in forward. There's still double Dire Avengers here for Aetherion, except for the fact that Ahruiz has got the cover here, the yellow cover anyways. There's some yellow cover over here as well, which we do see Aetherion taking advantage of, and it looks like that Aetherion will win this fight since his Dire Avengers are on a bit more health, and two models there go down for Ahruiz, a third one now, one going down for Aetherion. Ahruiz will need to get this one Dire Avenger squad out of there at the very least. The Sorcerer is coming in. Could see some Doombolts. Do you see actually some barrels and ammunition exploding, and the cover there is no longer anymore. Us here on the way back mid for Ahruiz. Banshees here actually upgrading in the middle of their fight now to the aspects of fleetness, giving them the ability to kind of leap over terrain, giving them the fleet of foot ability, the Howling Scream ability, and also when they get their Exarch, the Exarch will be armed with twin power swords compared to the Executioner that you see with the aspect of strength. Double CSM coming in here for Jambi. We do see Cornflux going for the ASM. We actually saw him go for this build quite a bit throughout the tournament, going for that ASM first after getting the first Tactical Marine purchase. So we'll see how that works out for him. We do see Banshees and Rangers mid going for that center VP. ASM coming in now out on the field. You have some Heretics retreating away, with the Banshees are not going to be able to catch them out. Rangers getting a little bit caught out there by Dire Avengers DCM model going down there. And the other bit of power bash going on here for Ahruiz. He actually takes down one of Aetherian's generators, and after these Dire Avengers are probably going to go down. They can't even retreat away without going down, having to run through that Banshee squad. And the Banshees will be able to get out of there with most of their models intact. Actually, I'm surprised that end model there did not go down. Havoc's getting interrupted by some ASM. ASM going to jump onto the second Havoc squad here for Jambi, but the other Havocs are going to have time to set back up again. Do see a shotgun blast trying to go off, but it's actually kind of failing. Here we go. Knocks back that Havoc squad. Scouts will retreat away, and I imagine that ASM will need to do the same thing as Heretics come in. Sorcerer is here as well. Gets special before he actually can do anything, and then the ASM will retreat away. Dire Avengers here in mid for Ahruiz, most likely going to go down here, 23 HP. Farseer should be able to finish him down, and he does. They even had the aspect, actually no, they didn't have the Aspects Avenger, never mind, I was getting confused with this squad here, but Aetherion here could throw a grenade. Grenade does go down. We'll actually catch out one model there. I think actually done a little bit more friendly fire damage than anything else. We do have some more Dire Avengers here on the side bashing Aetherion's power once again. Double CSM on their way mid. Do you see that the Chaos Sorcerer has gone for the Sword of Flame? Very nice upgrade against Eldar and also against Space Marine. The damage over time is very high, much higher than the Plague Marine's Bolter, for example. It's 5 piercing DPS per second for 5 seconds, I think, compared to the Plague Marine's Plague Bolter, which is only 2 piercing damage over 5 seconds. Banshees versus Banshees. One has their aspects of fleetness, one does not have any aspects at all. And it looks like that the Rangers are actually going to be making a big difference in this battle. One Banshee squad gained very low, 50 HP. I don't think this Dire Avenger squad is going to be able to finish it off, as they need to leave the area, as there's some more Dire Avengers here to back those Banshees up, along with the Rangers popping models left and right. Havoc's set up mid. This Force Commander is very bold, trying to walk up into the face of the Havoc squad. ASM jump in, only to be met by suppressing fire from another Havoc squad as well. ASMs do need another 5 energy for a jump, and we could see them jump once again. They now have enough energy. You can see them jumping once again onto the back Havoc line now, except for these other Havocs. The first Havocs have actually reset up again, so they need to actually go and take care of those as well. We do have Rangers on the field who can actually use their Kinetic Pulse to knock back a Havoc squad, but I don't know if it's on cooldown or not. We actually do see these Rangers coming in with the Pathfinder gear as well, so they can actually stealth and do the Hollow Field. So maybe we'll see some Hollow Field action later in mid. Do you see that Ahruiz and Cornflux, the first two heading towards tier 2, meanwhile Aetherion and Jambi have not been able to even start their upgrade yet. It looks like Jambi is starved on requisition. Aetherion does have the resources, and we do see him upgrading to tier 2 now. Rangers stealthing in here. Got Banshees coming in, so Rangers are stealthing out of the fight. It looks like it's not going to be a good fight for Ahruiz, as he is fighting 2 here. ASM is quite low. Models can be picked off here, where Banshee support is going to be difficult for them to take down models with. You have the Guardian Weapons team setting up, and you have these aspects of Fleet's Banshees are going to charge into the fight onto that Guardian Weapons team, and they will need to retreat away almost instantly. These Dire Avengers are going to be the next target now, and they get special. That might cost them their lives. They're trying to retreat away. The Banshees actually decide to stop focusing them and opt to go after that Chaos Sorcerer. Chaos Sorcerer is getting knocked back, twice knocked back now. Rangers taking shots as well from a distance. That Sorcerer will go down, but he is in a fair enough position to get rezzed up here by Ahruiz. Havoc's still set up, although it doesn't look like the Force Commander is going to be affected. He is running right into the face of these Havocs though, but they retreat away. Luckily, the drop pod coming down. Some Tactical Marines, I imagine, going to pop out of there as well, and they do. Heretics coming in as well. Do see the Doom Blast go down, catching both the Tactical Marines and the Force Commander. CSM are going to turn and try and fight again. Heretics do need to get out there. Havocs are retreating away from the Dire Avengers and the Farseer, and we do see the Force Commander going after the CSM. CSM will need to retreat away, and we do have Ahruiz coming back into the fight again. Do you see a grenade going down? That Banshee squad getting absolutely destroyed by that grenade, losing 3 models to a single grenade, and they will be forced to retreat almost instantly. Tactical Marines do need to be careful here. They are getting suppressed by that Guardian Weapons team. Force Commander and Farseer look like they're going to go after both these double Dire Avenger squads. ASM are back into the fray as well. And that Guardian Weapons team is going to get interrupted by the ASM. We do see them jumping in right now. Guardian Weapons team interrupted, do see that retreating away. Dire Avenger squad also needs to get out of there. They're left alone right now against the armies of both Aetherion and the Cornerflocks. ASMs could do some damage to them in retreat, we will see. ASMs are still hanging around in that retreat path, and here we go. Looks like 1 model will go down, but the squad overall will live. We have a double Havoc setup, over they set up on top of each other, going to make it very easy for ASM to interrupt both squads with a well-placed jump in between both the squads. However, a Dreadnought out in the field. Jambi is not tier 2 yet. These double Havocs do need to get out of the area because they can't get their upgrade for the Mark of Zinc or Mark of Khorne. Could see a Mark of Zinc and a Mark of Khorne upgrade coming in, and do see that Cornerflocks actually going for, we do see him, he does like the Dreadnought in tier 2, in fact in most of the games that I've seen does actually go for a Dreadnought once he hits tier 2. Dreadnought is always a solid purchase. Dire Avengers here for Ahruiz, getting chased away by some Banshees, will get out of there. VPs 374 to 340, very close game so far. We do have the Wraithlord now out for Ahruiz. There's currently no AV on the field for the Cornerflocks. Or Aetherion. The Dreadnought can fight the Wraithlord, but no kind of last cannon or Bright Lance weapons team for either player. Actually, we do have some missile launch attacks here coming in for the Cornerflocks. The Sorcerer was just resurrected there by the Sorcerer. No, the Farseer resurrected the Sorcerer, and this Wraithlord is in a lot of trouble now. The Guardian Weapons team should go down actually to the Banshees and Dreadnought. Looks like the Wraithlord should be able to get out there just fine. Banshees do get their Exarch as they leave the fight, and it looks like the Wraithlord will leave. Dark Reapers coming out though for Aetherion. That Inferno damage is going to absolutely shred through those double CSM. And Wraithlord does look like it's going to make its way back to base. We don't have any upgrades. Actually we do. We have the Mark of Zinc upgrade. We do have a single last cannon up for Jambi, and he will be the AV provider for red team. Dark Reapers and Rangers moving around. Have the Dire Avengers off to the right hand side, actually capping that VP as it was taken away by Aetherion. And Wraithlord does need some repairs, does regenerate its health very slowly, but ideally needs to be repaired by the double Dire Avengers, which are hit for Ahruiz, just to speed up that process. We do have the Sergeant as well onto the ASM, so we could see a Merciless Strike come in. No Thunder or Lightning upgrade though to counter that Wraithlord. We do have the big push here for Jambi's got quite a large army. Dreadnought upgrading to the Mark of Khorne as well, to the melee variant, giving it a second claw, giving it the Blood Rage ability, giving it melee resistance and extra health. Rangers coming in here, stealth, and Banshees as well with the Dark Reapers going to follow up behind it. These Dire Avengers are going to be in a little bit of trouble here. They do retreat away very quickly, so they will get away, but they will take a couple of model losses tops. Thank you for the follow. Force Commander with the Thunder Hammer is going to force away those double CSM. The power melee from it is going to be quite a lot for the CSM to deal with. And we do have the Havocs here getting protected by that Blood Rage Dreadnought. You need to be careful of the Blood Rage Dreadnought. That doesn't start attacking your friendly units. And it's going to go after the Force Commander now. It's on the Slung Stormbolter, trying to do what it can, but the main damage comes from those heavy melee claws, missile attacks out in the field. Sorcerer using the Robes of Torment to stop that Force Commander from being able to move anywhere. Going to force them to retreat away. We do have double attacks here, only one armed with a missile launcher however, and that Sorcerer using his Sword of Flame to do what he can against those tactical Marines. We have the Wraithlord here coming in with the Bright Lance upgrade as well. It's going to be very strong against this Falcon, although it's actually doesn't seem to be using it against this Falcon. Falcon does have soft AV damage and looks like it's going to try and kite away this Wraithlord. The Wraithlord should be able to turn with this Bright Lance however, but it looks like it's not going to do so. It looks like it's going to run back to the double Dire Avengers for some emergency repairs. Fire Dragons coming in here though for Ahruiz. And this Falcon will need to be careful. You see the Fire Dragons using their abilities to give them the extra speed and extra attack speed, but it's not actually going to get there in time. Mark of Khorne Dreadnought takes down the Space Marine Dreadnought. Last Cannon helping out big time there. Do you have the Thunder and Lightning upgrade, but that doesn't compare to the support of the Last Cannon hitting a melee Dreadnought. ASM will get out there for models. You have the Demonic Summoning on the ground there as well, and on top of spawning Bloodletters, actually allows you to reinforce friendly units. Falcon is going to be the next target as well. The Fire Dragons are after it. Dark Reapers are going to be the next target, and they're actually losing very horribly here to the Fire Dragons. There's also CSM mid as well. Dark Reapers do need to get out there. Exarch did die in the midst of that fight, and this Falcon does need to be careful. It's kind of just in the middle of Wraithlord coming in here. This Bright Lance is not hitting the Falcon, however. Banshees versus Banshees. And I don't know about this fight for Aetherion. His Banshees are unsupported and also lower health as well entering the fight. And it looks like Ahruiz will win that fight. We do have the Force Commander coming in though from the side. Gonna go after that Auto Cannon CSM squad. The Last Cannon trying to do what it can, but not being very effective at all against infantry. And we do see that the Blood Dreadnought, or the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought, sorry, is going in for the Force Commander. The Underslung Bolster is going to be too much. Actually, the Bright Lance takes him out by the looks of things. Force Commander being very ballsy there, going in by himself will cost him his life. Now, we do see that Aetherion and Corner Flux both going tier 3, Jambi also going tier 3, Ahruiz also going tier 3, everyone going tier 3 right now. 306 VPs to 216, ASM going to try and lead the charge here. Jumping in onto that Last Cannon heavy weapons team, and not fully sure about jumping onto that. I feel like they should have jumped onto the Auto Cannon heavy weapons team instead. That Blood Rage Dreadnought is just going to sit there idle. Do you have the Spirit Stones getting used onto that Force Commander as well? The Dreadnought remains Blood Rage. Do you have the Mark of Zinc coming upgrade as well onto the CSM in the midst of that fight? This Wraithlord will carry on going around. Level 2 Wraithlord as well. Do have the Falcon onto the right hand side. Still need some repairs from these Dire Avengers actually. Banshees and Dark Reapers here. There goes the repair. Do have a Singing Spear for one of the commanders, and it's going to be for Aetherion. Meanwhile, Ahruiz is getting that Gravity Blade to lift up units around her. Banshees coming in unsupported, need to get out of there however. And you see them running away. You have the Fire Dragons coming in with their Exarch as well, does grant them some extra range, and the Exarch himself does have a bit more health compared to the rest of the models. Of these unupgraded Dire Avengers here versus Dire Avengers with an Exarch and the aspects of the Avenger as well. This Falcon does need to be a bit careful now. Although the Fire Dragons are actually focusing down Dire Avengers instead of focusing down that Falcon. Bright Lance Wraithlord coming in. Falcon just needs to back away now. Dark Reapers on top of the cliff, not in the right position to actually fire back at any of the units here. Banshee's retreating away, and it looks like it'll just be a full pull out there for Aetherion. Spirit Stones coming in to heal the army there of Corner Flux. You do see that one squad does have the Mark of Zinc upgrade, meanwhile the other one doesn't. Dreadnought coming in hit. There's a Melter Bomb going on, there's double missile launch attacks, and there's also the Singing Spear from the Farseer. The Chaos Sorcerer can warp the Dreadnought out of there if needed, although he's actually in the back line there, so warping the Dreadnought on top of it is not going to work out too well. We do have actually an Eldritch Storm coming in. Dreadnought does get warped out of the Eldritch on top of these missile launch attacks, and it looks like they might be able to force them off, and it does. Dreadnought might actually get away there with 65 HP. This Farseer coming in with the Singing Spear. It looks like she's after that Dreadnought. Dreadnought is going to take quite a bit of damage from it. Only 20 damage from one hit. The Farseer looks like she's actually bugging out a little bit. Oh no, the Dreadnought's actually attacking the Sorcerer. It's actually attacking both by the looks of it. But ASM's coming in. This Dreadnought will go down, however, Sorcerer needs to get out himself. Only on 300 HP. Doesn't have the investments of the warp, so he would just have to retreat away instead. Do you have the Autocannon Havoc still set up mid, a full gen bash here against Aetherion. Aetherion's actually lost his Falcon in the midst of that fight. Lost Dire Avengers, lost his Dark Reaper squad. It was only down to a Fire Dragon and Banshee squad. Fire Dragons coming in here, they don't actually have their Exarch, and the Fire Dragons are trying to focus down the Wraithlord as well at the same time. Banshee's actually going to lead in here. And it looks like Ahruiz's Banshees aren't here nearby. The Wraithlord looks like it might get away. This Fire Dragon squad is actually going to go down if it's not careful. The Banshee's trying to focus down that Wraith Lord, but the melee resistance is going to be too much. And the Banshees here don't have a heavy melee Exarch, they actually have a power melee Exarch, which is not as effective against vehicles. We have the Chaos Havoc Last Cannon trying to set up, although it's not going to do too much against the ASMs. We do have Doom Bolts coming down onto the ASMs, and the ASMs will need to back out of there. Back away with 3 models. The Sergeant is still alive, and you have the missile launch attacks coming in. The Predator rolling out the shop now for Jambi, and it looks like Red Team will be able to. Red Team do have the stronger army out of both teams put together. Got a Fire Prism coming out as well. Now Wraith Lord still going around. Wraith Lord is level 3, nearly level 4. It does turn level 4 right there. Going to be very difficult to deal with, especially with the Dire Avengers repairing it on a constant basis. Fire Dragons retreating away there for Aetherion in the top right corner of the screen. Not sure why. It looks like it was a mistake to pull him out of base. And do you see Assault Terminators coming in for the corner flux though, capping that VP. But I'm not sure Assault Terminators are going to be enough with the double tanks of Wraith Lord and the massive army that Red Team has amassed together. 2-to-1 cap, 167 for 189 now. It's close in VPs, but looking at the army count, it does seem to favour Red Team. However, maybe Blue Team, sorry, are going to be able to pull out some sneaky strategy and try and focus on the VPs. They have the Fire Prism firing on those Fire Dragons over there, going to force them away almost instantly. We do have a big push here for the corner flux. Does have those Assault Terminators and those ASMs. But is it going to be enough against the double Havocs, Predator, double CSM, Heretics? Predator actually does have the Mark of Khorne upgrade, giving it quite a lot of damage against infantry. And Chaos Predator is just driving in. What is it doing? It needs to be careful. It can't do this. You can see a Melter Bomb go down on it as well. Predator actually goes down in the very first engagement. There's even the Melter Bomb, which is not even detonated yet because it went down so fast. Assault Terminators are going to destroy these Banshees as well. We've got the double Mark of Zinc CSM here as well, except for I don't think that they're going to be quite enough to bring down these Terminators before they're able to close the gap. Banshee's going down there for Ahruiz. We have an auto drop coming in from Aetherion, presumably. And yeah, it is Aetherion. Sorcerer does need to be careful, does have the Tome of Subjugation. And do you see Heretics trying to come in as well now, but I don't think Heretics are going to do too much against these Assault Terminators other than buy time for these CSM and autocannon to help bring them down. Force Commander still dead on the ground there, although Aetherion should be able to get a res on him. Although actually it looks like Red Team are going to hold their ground here, so it's going to be difficult for Aetherion to get a res there. You have Banshees running away. And it looks like Red Team has not spotted this gate hit for Blue Team. Double CSM. I feel like an Exarch on these, not an Exarch, sorry. I feel like an Aspiring Champion on these double Mark of Zinc CSM would kind of help out quite a lot against the army that Corner Flux has got right now. It's a shame about that Predator that actually went down so fast in that fight. He needed to keep it more in the back line rather than as a front line unit. And also showed off the rear armor in the midst of that fight as well, causing the missile attacks to do a lot of damage to them. We do see the Tome of Subjugation used onto these ASMs, and the CSM are trying to move in here, and ASMs will retreat away as soon as they regain control of those cells. Have the Gravity Blade getting used here by Aetherion, no, by Ahruiz, sorry, along with the Time Field actually. And it looks like he's trying to buy time for his own army to actually come in here. We actually have the Auto coming in here with the, I forgot what it's called, the Fusion Gun. I'm not sure about the Fusion Gun on the Auto against this composition. But I suppose he wants some more AV damage against this Wraith Lord and against this Fire Prism as well. Fire Dragons versus Fire Dragons, and it looks like Ahruiz's Fire Dragons will win that fight. In fact, it looks like Aetherian's Fire Dragons could go down and splash damage from that Wraith Lord. Although the Wraith Lord does a special attack when it's not needed. 5 HP will go down, in fact. We do have the Autok here with her Fusion Gun and the Farseer here with the Sinking Spear. It's not going to be enough AV though to fight this Wraith Lord alone. Autok does need to be careful. She is very low, we'll get away with 80 HP. The Farseer is going to be the next target. We do have another time field going down, this time from Aetherion though. You see that only the fire dragons outside the time field are able to attack, and she's trying to do what she can to this Wraith Lord, but it's not going to be enough. She's actually going to go down because of it, because she needs to retreat as soon as she dropped that, really. I do see the Wraith Lord just slam her into the ground. ASM is going to jump in as well onto these Mark of Zinc CSM. The Robes of Torment getting used there to lock those ASM down. Force Commander is going to get caught in those Robes of Torment as well. We do actually have an avatar out now for Ahruiz along with the Fire Prison. There's not going to be enough AV on the field, I don't think, to deal with this. As much as the double missile launch attacks, the Assault Terminates, the last cannon, I don't know if it's going to be enough to deal with this quickly. Fire Prison taking quite a bit of damage on 125 HP, does need to reverse out there before one of the missile launch attacks actually finishes it off. The Assault Terminator is trying to come in here, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. We do see the Avatar going to switch focus to it now. Tome of Subjugation used to prevent them from stopping this Farseer from capping, wasting the teleport there as well. Even the last cannon taking a shot there on that lead model. And the Assault Terminals look like they'll leave the area. They have the Banshees here for Aetherion, trying to do what he can on the side VP, but trying to prevent blue team from actually losing, since they are only 34 VPs against 174. Wraith Lord could go down here. Is this an Eldritch Storm going down? It is an Eldritch Storm going down. Wraith Lord looks like it will just outskirt the storm, go after these Banshees instead. Fire Dragons are actually just going to stand in outside that storm, just not caring at all. 14 VPs for blue team. Looks like red team will take victory here, as it is a 2-0 cap right now. The other Fire Dragons trying to do what they can to actually cap the VP. Currently a 1-0 cap. They're not going to be able to make the cap in time. They're actually going to die before it. We do see the Farseer trying to make an appearance, but it's actually going to be game, and game 1 will go towards Ahruiz and Jambi. So we'll be moving on to game 2, where Aetherion and Cornerflux will be able to pick their choice of map now. And we'll see, it is a best of 3 finals instead of a best of 5 finals as well, so the next game could be the last for Cornerflux and Aetherion. Just need to wait for this loading screen to actually let me get out of there. So we do see that Ahruiz is the champion. Having a look at his unit score, 95 for 66, with a score of 230. Let's go and see if another lobby has already been popped up. One hasn't just yet, but I imagine one will be soon. When I did start the poll at the beginning of the game, but I never actually closed the poll, so let's close it now and see. Or I can't remember the command for it. So 1 vote for Aetherion and Cornerflux, 6 votes for Jambi and Ahruiz. So those people who think that they're going to win the entire series, we have 6 votes to 1. And they did win the first game as well, so far those 6 people who voted are looking right. So I don't know if the players are taking some sort of break or what is going on here, but still going to carry on waiting for that game. Or maybe they've hosted it in private and I'll get an invite, so I'm not sure. So in the meantime, I imagine that they'll be kind of picking the same commanders as they have done previously. We do see the Cornerflux is very fond of the Force Commander. He's played it in the majority of the games that I've seen him play. He has picked the Tech Marine once before as well. As for Jambi, I think he's only picked the Chaos Lord once, and the majority of the time he's been picking the Sorcerer. Game is full, there is no observer slot for me. Here we go. It's like Aetherion. Okay, we actually have seen Aetherion as well play the brother captain, and it was quite a pain for, I think it was Luciferin and High Spirit who he played the brother captain against, and he did win a game with the brother captain and also lost a game with the brother captain in the same series. I'm gonna just mark myself as ready just in case the game begins. But I think they're going to decide on the map, or maybe Calderis Refinery was the map they decided on. They're also on TeamSpeak together, so they might be organising this outside of the in-game chat. So they still got to pick their commander choices first. Ahruiz going to stick with that Farseer, was very successful in the previous game. Jambi with the Sorcerer, we've seen him play quite a bit. Also seen Ahruiz as well play the Warp Spider Exarch as well throughout the tournament. But it looks like he's going to stick with the Farseer today. So now it's up to the Corner Flocks and Aetherion to pick their next champions, or pick their next commanders rather. Getting confused with other games. So it looks like Aetherion and Cornerflock is going to go with the Brother Captain Force Commander combination. We have seen the Space Marine Grey Knight combination as well from both of them in 2 games against Luciferin and High Spirit, if I remember correctly from yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a long day, so my memory might be a little bit fuzzy. So we just need to wait on the players to ready up. It looks like Jambi needs to be right back for 1 minute, so it's going to be a short intermission until he returns. So do you think this change in strategy will help Aetherion and Cornerflocks win the next game, switching one race choice from Eldar to to Grey Knights? Or is it going to be another win for Ahruiz and Jambi as they storm through? So it looks like the map is actually going to be Calderis Refinery. I don't know if they've decided this before deciding on their commander choices or not. I'm going to guess that they have done. So everyone's ready, I'm ready as well, and we are poised to go. Aetherion says for the Emperor. And here we are, the loading screen. So we might see that Aetherion go for a fast tier 2 or even a fast tier 3. We have actually seen him rush tier 3 to grab out some fast interceptors, followed up by a Land Raider Crusader in an earlier game as well, yesterday. But we haven't actually seen him rush any kind of Terminators or Paladins when playing the Brother Captain. It actually seems to quite like those Interceptors instead. And I think some Terminators would be a better choice over Interceptors. But we'll see what he decides to go for in this game. Maybe he's going to go for a heavier tier 2, or even a heavier tier 1 actually. Just waiting for Aetherion to load up into this game and then we'll be ready to go. Aetherion here. Stuck on that 66%, there we go. Into the game we do have Cornerflux playing as the Force Commander over here in the bottom left, and in the top left we also have Aetherion playing as a Grey Knight, also using the Grey Knight's colour scheme as well. Onto the bottom right hand side of the map we do have Jambi playing as the Chaos Sorcerer, using that same colour scheme as he's always been using, and we have Ahruiz playing as the Farseer, switching it up from, I can't remember what the green one was called, I know it's one of the elite mod schemes, switching up to the Awufwi, I don't know how to pronounce that either, but switching up to that scheme instead. Do see a Tactical Marine squad and a Strike squad coming out for Aetherion, CSM squad and Banshee squad here for Ahruiz. It looks like he's actually going to go for a double IST build, maybe even a triple IST Rhino build, which people seem very fond of when playing the Grey Knights. You see that the Cornerflux op seems to only go for a single scout squad instead of 2 scouts. You can see those fast ASMs as well once again. Rob Captain coming in mid now, trying to do what he can to the Farseer with ranged weapons, although the Rob Captain's ranged weapon does a lot more damage compared to the Farseer. IST losing quite poorly here to the Dire Avengers. They're trying to get behind this little bit of green cover, but it doesn't seem to be working out too well. Farseer using the Fleet of Foot to get in there to poke down one model there with that sword. And it looks like she'll just walk out of there. Look at the damage that the Stormbolt is doing to the Farseer. It's doing quite a big amount of damage. You have Heretics just jumping in here. Doombolt's the Force Commander for the suppression and does actually need to get out of there. Double CSM build here for Jambi. Now that the Heretics are out of the fight, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to tie up this little blob here of scouts and attacks. CSM do need to leave the fight as well. Will they try and walk out of the fight, or are they going to try and retreat away instead? Banshees versus a Strike squad now. But Brother Captain is on top of them as well. Banshees seem to be destroying this fight, however. Actually also get the special against the Strike squad as well. One model goes down. They actually switch targets to Brother Captain. Brother Captain's special looks like it failed there. Brother Captain actually might go down, in fact. He's taken a lot of damage there. A couple more swings of those swords and he will go down. IST are going to be next target. IST have no business fighting Banshees in melee whatsoever. And there we go, see a special there, and it's going to cost them even more models now after that special. 2 more models, by the looks of it, switches target to the second IST squad and he will win that fight very handily. Double CSM now out for Jambi. Do you actually have a Havoc squad to follow up this double CSM squad? One CSM goes back to base for some quick healing there. 437 to 491, not much has happened so far. The red team do have a slight advantage in VPs. You have the dead Brother Captain over here. It's going to be very difficult for him to actually get rezzed up there by the Cornerflux. Do have some operatives coming out for Aetherion. Could see double operatives as well, rather than just a single operative squad. Operatives are actually quite effective against Eldar, given how easy it is to make Eldar bleed with the amounts of damage that they're able to lay out. You can easily scare off an Eldar player with just 2 operatives against a single squad of theirs. And you can get a lot of damage if they're not able to react almost instantly as well. Tactical Marines trying to come in mid, going to fight some CSM and the Chaos Sorcerer. Over to this side, you have the full army of the Grey Knights, with the exception of the Brother Captain fighting there. The CSM actually need to reposition behind this little bit of ground, which is actually heavy cover, and you have some more CSM coming in behind these pipes as well, which is another source of green cover. Tactical Marines taking quite a bit of damage. They will lose this fight. Not using their Kraken bolts either. It's either on cooldown, it's already been used. Nice kinetic pulse onto that Strike squad, knocks them all down. Banshees don't seem to be in this fight, however. Banshees are actually coming in now. That Strike squad taking quite a bit of damage. They do lose a model. Grenade going down. Stuns the Dire Avengers, but they do retreat away. Banshees coming in here. They don't actually have their aspects yet. Upgrading currently now. So no Fleet of Foot for them to actually catch up to the retreating units.
Allied Force Commander has been returned to base.
Do have the Sorcerer and double CSM coming in here. Those scouts will get forced off that victory point, and it looks like it could be a triple cap for red team if they're actually able to secure this. ASM's coming in, however. ASM's choosing to stand idle. They do jump onto the double CSMs, however. Havocs are facing a bit of an awkward position there. They're not actually covering these double CSM right now. ASMs do have enough for another jump in a second. And there is a second jump. However, the double CSM are here to protect those Havocs along the Chaos Sorcerer as well. Special goes down. Special actually misses onto the ASMs, however, the scouts are trying to do what they can. Actually getting meleeed down by a CSM squad. They can't actually do too much against them. We do have the Grey Knight army coming in here. More reinforcements, however, for Jambi, the Aspiring Champion Heretic squad, Noise Marines as well. And this Grey Knight army does need to be careful because it looks like the Cornerfox is going to have to pull out everything he's got. One ASM model going down, a second could go down if he actually forced melee there with his CSM, but that doesn't actually do so. You have the stun bomb onto those Noise Marines operatives using their fallback plan to get away. Banshees are going to stream into the fight now, and it looks like red team are going to be able to carry on pushing. They have Devastators trying to set up though. Don't know if the Devastators are going to be enough to stop red team. They do have quite a large army still here. Heretics are going to retreat away, CSM retreats away. The Sorcerer fighting the Force Commander. Looks like blue team will actually hold as their commanders are quite tanky and doing quite a bit. Do you see the Cacophony going down? Doesn't actually affect the Force Commander or Brother Captain. Brother Captain is too big of a unit to be knocked back, and the Force Commander has his battle cry active. Ranger's going to use the Kinetic Pulse onto this Devastator squad to prevent them from setting up, and Rangers might get caught out. But Banshees are actually coming in from behind, however, they're a bit unsupported, where these Devastators are going to probably lose a model in retreat here. They're actually going to switch targets to the Brother Captain. Brother Captain could go down once again, although he's in a very nice spot to actually get rezzed up by that Force Commander. If he dies here, Shotgun's Blast might actually save the Brother Captain, and it actually does. Brother Captain will get away with 3 HP, in fact probably a bit less, because he does actually regen at an alright pace. Ghost Helm actually getting purchased here by the Farseer. It does do heavy melee damage over time for 6 seconds. Very nice at killing retreating units, and or just even suppressing the squad like instantly. It's actually very nice against commanders which aren't the Brother Captains for suppressing them and killing them, or even killing the Brother Captain as well. You see those operatives coming in here, getting special away by the Farseer. They do try and retreat away, but they do lose a model. They do take a ranger model, however, so it is probably worth it. ASMs do jump in now. Those CSM do need to get away. Noise Marines going to stop those tactical marines from firing. They need to actually focus the Devastators though. You can see a Cacophony go down. There we go. Cacophony into retreat, knocks those ASM back. Also, when ASMs jump in, do need to be careful. ASMs do have a slight knockback immunity, so you want to use a Cacophony about a second after they jumped in instead of instantly, otherwise they'll just ignore the Cacophony completely. Devastator looks like it's actually going to stop this push here from Jambi. 250 VPs though for blue team, 477 for red team. You have the IST making their way onto that red team victory point. Brother Captain is going to come in here as well, back onto his side. You have the Farseer trying to get in here. She's quite low on health, but she is still able to tie up these ISTs in melee. 2 models go down there for the IST squads. You have the Brother Captain coming from behind. Does need to be careful of the Banshees. Doesn't want him to go down again. Over here we do have some Havoc set up, firing away at those Devastators. We do have the Michael Zink worship as well going on to actually stealth the Havocs here as well. Where the Heretics can still be seen if you use double Heretics, however you can actually stealth each other's Heretics and make your entire army invisible. Banshee's going to stream in against this Brother Captain. Brother Captain has not had a good record fighting Banshees this game so far, and he's going to have an even worse record now as he goes down once again. A grenade goes to go down. It's actually a stun bomb, but it actually does miss. And the operatives will fall back actually just like a little bit. The Rangers need to be very careful though. These grenade launchers doing quite a bit of damage. And do have the Strike Squad trying to tie in melee, where they kind of stop halfway through on their path to melee. Trying to go even further now, but the Dire Avengers doing too much damage. Hellfree Strike though, on retreat of these Dire Avengers, the flame damage is going to be too much for them to handle when they do retreat away. You need to be careful of Hellfree Strike as it does do friendly fire damage. Do have ASM streaming in here. Do you see a dead CSM model, a couple of dead Heretics on the ground as well. Brother Captain's still dead on the ground. Do you see the Ghost Helm getting used there? Takes down a Strike Squad model. And you see that she's now after those operatives. Purgation Squad armed with their Psy Cannons coming in. Could see another model go down on those operative squads, but it doesn't look like they'll go down. And the IST with the grenade launchers actually get popped by a Ranger from a distance along the Wraith Lord with its Shuriken Cannon upgrade. ASM's coming in here fighting that Sorcerer. Sergeant armed with that power sword, actually almost killing the Sorcerer. In fact, they could have possibly jumped once again to go and kill him, although there's been easy res for the Farseer outside of Jambi's base. Triple cap for Blue Team, looks like they're going to claw their way back into this game. 227 for 422 right now. ASM is now getting attacked here by some Havocs. CSM and Noise Marines coming in as well. One ASM model does go down. ASMs do jump away to safety before they move away. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to base to go and reinforce and heal up a little bit. Red team on their way to mid. Ahruiz is going to capture that VP. This power node looks like it's going to be the next target as well. Power node will go down to that Dreadnought. Whirlwind coming in, however, for the corner flux, going to interrupt those Havocs before they even got the chance to set up. Who do you see? Ahruiz is kind of amassing his army up there. Do you actually have a Rhino coming out? Doesn't have the vehicle placing just yet. Do you see the Purification Squad actually get inside the Rhino before the Banshees are able to get a swing onto them? Very nice play there. Dreadnought moving in. Do you have the Rod of Warp Fire now for the Sorcerer? Could also see the Robes of Torments come in later on as well. The Rhino is coming in here. I don't know if it's got any units inside, but it's getting the last cannon upgrade, so this Dreadnought does need to be careful. We do see the Purgation do step out of it. Gravity Blade is actually going down on the Farseer. It actually picks up the Strike Squad and the Operative Squad. Wraithlord trying to go in here. This Rhino does need to be very careful, in fact. Rear armor hit with that massive sword on that Wraithlord. The IST could be a target there, but looks like they will actually get away. Meanwhile, we do have that Whirlwind interrupting the fight over here onto the Chaos side. Melter Bomb onto that Dreadnought. Thunder Hammer on the Force Commander as well. And then kind of the other AV in range right now though against this Dreadnought. So Dreadnought should be able to melee this Force Commander down. Could see a Hunter Seeker missile unless it's already been used as well from that Whirlwind. Or if the Whirlwind is even in range right now. Should be in range actually. And it looks like that Ahruiz is going to join this fight as well. It's going to force the Corner Flux completely off. The last cannon is going to reset up, however. You see Rangers having to leave the area. That Rhino is on half health, so it does need to be a bit careful. Purgation Squad also needs to be careful as well. Taking quite a bit of damage. That Shuriken shoulder mounted cannon from the Wraithlord is doing a lot of work this game. You do see that the Rhino is trying to kite away. If the Wraithlord had the Bright Lance, the Rhino would not be able to kite away as well as it's doing right now. Stun Bomb actually lands perfectly onto the Banshees, catching out 5 of 6 models there. But they will actually just go for the VP instead. That Rhino is so fast, will not be able to get chased down by that Wraithlord. Will be kited away on a constant basis. And do you see Jambi's actually the first player to go tier 3 as well. IST is coming in here to repair presumably, but they're actually taking a lot of damage from that Shuriken cannons. Actually a bit much. One model goes down there, down to 3 models. So it's actually got quite a few models there considering how low health it is, and we do see it coming in now. Fire Dragon's out on the field as well. Wraithlord is just after that Rhino constantly. We do see while the rest of this going on, Rob Cup's actually trying to turn around and try to fight some Banshees once again. He hasn't had a good record fighting them. He does actually retreat quite early on this time, although the Wraithlord could finish him off in retreat. Wraithlord needs to turn around and swing at that Brother Captain. But he actually switches target to that Wraithlord. Rhino, sorry. Rhino is still very low, but we'll get away. He does actually have the Force Commander in the behind here, but he's actually alone, so he does need to be careful. ASM's going to jump onto these Havocs and actually kill them. Havocs were out of position, were away from the rest of the army, so the ASMs picked up a perfect opportunity to actually assassinate them. Now at Jambi's tier 3 still haven't seen any tier 3 purchases yet. No Tome of Subjugation. He actually has the Sigil of the Rift upgrade instead. ASM's going to jump in here, get blasted by some Noise Marines. Will take quite a bit of damage here actually. Might lose a model in retreat. Haven't seen the Rod of Warpfire actually used yet from the Chaos Sorcerer. Rod of Warpfire actually does do some alright damage in retreat. Does do plasma cannon damage. So very effective against heavy infantry of the Space Marines. You see that Aetherion kind of amassing his army, trying to actually leave his own base right now. Ahruiz in the corner flux going to be taken up to tier 3 at the exact same time. The Whirlwind interrupting the Sorcerer and some CSM there. Noise Marines doing what they can, annoying some tanks, annoying some scouts. Operatives are just kind of getting caught there. They don't seem to realise that they were detected until a little bit too late. Force Commander is here, doesn't need to be meleeed down by that Dreadnought, I think. Wraith Lord actually takes down that brother captain there and just gets it drops onto the ground. Farseer could go down as well. Very nice Gravity Blade, actually lifts up the entire army. The exception is Rhino. Wraith Lord does have a free time attacking all the units surrounding it. Farseer does have an opportunity to escape as well. That IST squad will go down. Purigation going to be the next target on that Strike Squad. Strike Squad is going to go down as well. Purigation going to be next target. It's trying to do what it can to actually take down Farseer. Wraith Lord needs to turn around and use his sword to swing now. There goes one model. This next Purigation model is very low. That Shuriken Cannon though doing some work, actually takes it out, and the Aetherian's left with just a Rhino and Operative squad. That is a very large loss for him in this fight so far. You have the Force Command trying to do what it can to cap, will actually go down himself. No one's up to res the brother captain now. 60 VPs to 400 is not looking good for blue team right now, with red team having such a large army and a great unclean one on the way as well. The Rhino doing what it can to try and annoy this Wraith Lord, but the Fire Dragons are here to actually prevent this Rhino from pursuing any further forward. Ranger's still here as well, going to use the Kinetic Pulse, I imagine, when it comes off cooldown to knock these scouts away. ASM's jumping in. Wraith Lord does need to be careful. They do have the Thunder and Lightning upgrade. There goes the Melter Bomb. Is it going to be enough though? It's probably not. Actually gets warped away there by the Chaos Sorcerer instead. Is only on 120 HP. Do you see that these Rangers are actually quite low, but they do still have 3 models. A smoke grenade actually gets thrown out there by the Rhino. Looks kind of weird seeing that get thrown out. Blue team are very desperate right now. I see them going for all the VPs across the map, doing what he can to actually prevent the game from ending 44 to 397. Chaos Sorcerer himself quite low, needs to be very careful, will get out of there however, when trying to do what it can, but doesn't actually do very much in terms of damage. Marcus Zinc CSM now, these Tactical Marines do need to be careful. These Marcus Zinc CSM actually turned, there goes 2 models almost instantly. Whirlwind is too late there to interrupt and save those models. Operatives nearly dying here to the Banshees and retreat. We do actually have a drop coming in over here. Some Terminators as well. We do see that Corner Flux did go for the Assault Terminators before, but the Great Unclean one is here, and the Dreadnought is actually going to be okay, I think. Do you see the Terminators now poisoned? Terminators actually teleport in for the Wraith Lord instead. Do you see the Gravity Blade getting used onto the Farseer against that Force Command? The Banshees are wailing away at that Rhino. Wraith Lord is trying to slowly walk away, actually gets taken out by that last Rhino. Banshees are still after it, however. Terminators don't have a teleport ready, and the power melee from these Banshees isn't going to be enough against the vehicle armor of this Rhino. Force Commander coming in here, actually preventing them from even doing any more damage with that Thunder Hammer. Assault Terminators here in the retreat path, not actually going to attack because it is currently getting chased away by that Great and Clean one. Still on 4,700 health. He is going to be an absolute behemoth to take down in this game. 40 VPs, 389. Blue team currently 1-1 cap right now. It looks like they're doing a good job of stalling this game out for as long as possible. Gravity Blade used once again from that Farseer onto the ASMs. ASMs actually don't seem to care about that Gravity Blade, as they continue to smack away at her instead. Looks like the last Rhino might go down to that autocannon from the Dreadnought, but Dreadnought decides to back away. ASMs need to be careful. They're in the retreat path of that Grand Clean one as well. Grand Clean one might not actually be able to get there in time to actually do any damage. Does actually try and pull in a Terminator there, but doesn't actually seem to work. Terminators are a bit too heavy to just pull in. Hellfire Strike landing down well when trying to do what it can. Terminators teleport forward, they're desperate for that VPS as a 2-to-1 cap against them. Look at the damage that these Terminators are able to soak up, although it's not going to be enough. They will lose a model trying to escape out of here. They don't have that teleport ready. The Captain comes in here with them. Actually no, these are Terminators instead. The Grey Knight Terminators with their Hellbirds, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to take down the Great and Clean one. Power melee doing a lot of damage against the super heavy infantry that the Great and Clean one is. Does actually get warped slightly 2 feet to the behind him, and will resume trying to fight these Terminators instead. Another Wraith Lord coming out though for Ahruiz. Wraith Lord previously done so much work before he actually purchased another one. Tome of Subjugation actually is going to save the Grey and Clean one. The Grey and Clean one needs to go back to base and heal up. Those Marines look like they could go down, doesn't actually look like they will. Grey and Clean one trying to stealth up here will actually go down to the power melee there from the Terminators and the Force Commander. Heretics are going to back away as well. You see the Terminator switching focus to that Farseer. Farseer will go down. Wraith Lord coming in now as well. Fire Dragons are on the field still, 25 to 389 VPs. The Grey Knight Terminators now armed with Psy Cannons as well. You see the Fire Dragons actually losing some models there. 2 models going down, need to be careful. The Exarch actually goes down there as well. And they're down to just 1 model. In fact, the squad is coming very close to dying as well. It might still die actually to the range damage of that Psy Cannon. Sorcerer is going to be next target. Sorcerer might go down as well himself, taking a lot of damage from that Psy Cannon. 1 Terminator model does go down. Terminators do retreat away there. Could lose another model to that Wraith Lord, but it looks like they will be okay. And we have dead commanders littered in the center of the map. The only commander alive right now is that Chaos Sorcerer. Blue team desperately trying to cap here. Dark Flame's very nicely positioned here, catching 3 squads of the corner flocks. Aetherian's actually down to just Terminators, and he's getting some interceptors right now, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. ASM's jumping in, throwing that Melter Bomb down. Do you see a grenade getting tossed there by the Grenade Launcher Heretics? Another Hellfury Strike onto the Dire Avengers. Dire Avengers should be able to just cap under that fire. It doesn't do... It won't be enough damage to force them off, especially when they're level 4. Look how much health they are on, 1,330. Well, that Hellfury Strike actually did bring them down to 400 health, so if they were any lower level they probably would have needed to back out of there. But here come some Assault Terminators back once again for the corner flux. Do need to be careful of them, they are subjugated right now. Teleport onto the Intercepts. The Intercepts actually teleport forward, however. Dire Avengers do get out of there. The VPs are going to tick down, however, and red team will win. Looks like Jambi and Ahruiz are going to be the winners of the beginners tournament, hosted by Welsh Toast. So congratulations to Ahruiz and Jambi for winning. It was a double elimination tournament as well. I think they actually came down from the lower bracket as well. I can't remember, I need to actually have a look at the brackets and find out. Let's have a look at the unit score. There's quite a lot of deaths that game. 65 units lost for Aetherion, 19 for Corner Flocks, 50 for Ahruiz, and 43 for Jambi. Definition of beginner here is about less than 500 hours, or I mean, if you play the beginners club, then you know you can obviously, and if you're like the same skill level, then the hours don't matter so much as more. 500 hours less is kind of a rough guide. And that is it for today. So thank you guys for watching those games, and I think for now I'm going to put you over to Slaneshi, since he was actually streaming before the beginners tournament started. So I'm going to go and host his channel, and I'll see you there. And also be sure to have a look on YouTube later as well, because I'll be uploading the casts, and if the replays are also getting posted onto the forums as well, then I might be casting a few of those and putting them onto my channel as well, because I was not able to cover all the games here from the beginners tournament, so keep an eye out for the duration of next week. I'll be posting the casts on the forums anyway when I do them, so keep an eye out there. For now I'm going to host Slaneshi's channel, and you can enjoy some action there.